Very good. It's so fun to be here in the summertime. You know, I forgot it's hot in Santa Rosa. I'm usually here in January or teaching sometime in the winter, but it's good to be here. And I bring you greetings from Santa Cruz, California. Yes. So the topic for today is giving your best to the world. So in the first service, I was talking about the whole concept of giving. In this service, I'm going to talk about what is this thing our best. And in the third service, we're going to talk about what is this world that we're giving to? Just exactly what is that composed of? I'll weave in a couple of concepts from the first service, but I'm going to jump right into this idea about our best, giving our best. There's a series of these prophetic messages that come to me in the form of letters, completely as a letter, and there's a series called Letters from the Infinite. I'm going to be sharing something from that with you at the end of my session here from the first volume, The Sacred Yes. And there's a particular letter in there called Personal Truth versus Your Spiritual Truth. And I want to start there. That we're both. We have a personal truth. Now, your personal truth is your personality. So often we'll say, well, I want to speak my truth. Or this is my truth. Be very clear about which truth you're hanging on to and declaring to really be yours or you. It defines it as truth with a little t, truth with a big T. So your personal truth is your persona. It's our human experience. And experience isn't what happens to us, but how we name what happens to us. Your experience isn't what has happened, it's how you name what has happened. And we are continuously naming and renaming. That's what healing is about. Healing is really about shifting our experience. Healing is about renaming. Healing is about seeing with brand new lenses. You can't go back and redo the quote-unquote facts, but even what you think is a fact shifts and changes with a new lens and a new perspective. So that something that you might have deemed the most awful thing in the world, which felt like that in that moment, is, in fact, the ticket to your greater yet to be. Do I have a witness in the house? Oh, yeah. Okay? It's those pivot moments. It's those pivot moments when we're cracked open. It's those pivot moments that are hard. It's those pivot moments when it seems like life has thrown us a curveball. Or why did this happen? How did this come out of nowhere? Or why is this happening again? And we go through those kinds of things, and it's very, very important that we realize that everybody's going to go through it. Everybody. And I don't know where we got in the New Thought movement this idea that if you do your spiritual work, you get a get-out-of-hell-free card. I don't know where we got it. That says if you're doing your spiritual work, you're not going to go through anything, so what's wrong with your consciousness? That you're going, don't do it, okay? That is spiritual malpractice. That's what it is, okay? As human beings, we only have so many emotions, we have so many things, and we just recycle them, okay? You cry when you're happy, you cry when you're sad. Because crying is just what we do when our body is full of emotion and we can't hold it anymore. You couldn't even tell necessarily if somebody's happy or sad. We get sick when we're not dealing. We get sick when we are. Okay? So don't get all upset because somebody's going through something. You don't know what it is. You don't know what's going on. Even in your own life, it's like cut yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack. There is this way in which we don't recognize that everything that's going on in our lives has a place. Everything. Which leads me to our spiritual truth. Okay? Now, your spiritual truth is your soul's essence. It's your soul's essence. Your spiritual truth is that part of you that is eternal, it is everlasting, it is perfect, it is whole, it is complete. It does not need any workshops or classes. It doesn't need to go to church. It just is. This powerful essence that is connected with the divine. But the problem is that this great power is trying to come through little bitty old you. Yeah. You know, I really, for the most part, try to go along with like divine order and the way that things are organized. But there are like a couple of things that just feel like they're real design flaws. Like this concept of birthing, live births. And I just want to ask the great is, what were you thinking? That you're going to give this big old something through these little bitty places. But that's what happens. It's the same truths everywhere, in the inner, the outer, the physical, the material, the same thing with the spiritual, that this big, great, grand you is trying to birth itself in this world through this little bitty thing called your personality. But your personality grows and stretches. It creates a space. It has a capacity. There is a marriage that happens here. These two work in concert with each other, and I contend that this notion of your best is this place where the divine in you is able to come through uniquely as you. And if you want to flip it the other way, that's fine. Where your persona, where your personality is able to stand in the awareness that it is one with the great is. Just breathe that in for a moment. The real you, it's just extraordinary. Each and every one of us is unique. Never been before, will never be again. Even something as seemingly insignificant as your baby fingerprint has its own stamp. No two snowflakes are alike. No two blades of grass are alike. No two identical twins are alike. There is nobody that has ever been here like you. Isn't that extraordinary? Just us. And here's the thing, is that this universe wastes nothing. It wastes nothing. Everything is recycling. Everything transmutes and transforms. So that even the waste, even the crap is fertilizer. Isn't that amazing? That even the waste, the stuff that it just, I don't even need this anymore. I'm done, did crap. It's the fertilizer. It's the same thing in your life, trust me. We got to appreciate the fertilizer. It has a place. Even the stuff that we think is waste. So we're here in Santa Rosa. We're close to Napa Valley. I remember a number of years ago going on a wine tasting tour. You know, they put you on this little bus, and you go around to these different wineries, and I was just fascinated seeing how wine was made. You go into the cellars, and the different kinds of wood that's used in the aging process and all of that. And there was so much, metaphysical that was there. And I'm a metaphysical Bible instructor, and there are often a lot of references to wine and the making of wine as a metaphor for consciousness. And they were saying that when the grapes are first planted, that for the first 5-6 years or so, the grapes are not harvested. They're not harvested. They just let the grapes fall right there into the soil. Okay? To fertilize the soil, to make the soil really rich. And I thought about that as the metaphor, how we always have to think we have to do something with all of our gifts. We keep thinking that if it just falls and nobody sees it, nobody hears it, it doesn't go out to market or whatever, that like nothing has happened. We have to give our gifts just because we have to give them. The grapevine doesn't care what happens to the grapes. It just gives the grapes. Whether the grapes fall, whether the grapes make it into jelly or jam or make it into wine or whatever, the grapevine just keeps giving of itself. Okay? That's how your big spiritual truth is. It's just giving, giving, giving. Now, it's your little t that's making it jelly or jam or wine or whatever, or sometimes may just need to let the stuff just sit there, ferment, and fertilize everything around. Do we have the patience to do that? This best of yours to give to the world is going to include some of the things you're embarrassed about. It's going to include some of the things that you are ashamed of. It's going to include some of the things that you've been trying to run away from. What we run from, we run towards. Spirit wastes nothing. Nothing. Your unique gift, that which you have come here to do, that which you have come here to be, that which you have come here to give uniquely as you, is going to involve all of you. I don't know where we got this idea of just putting our best foot forward means only showing you the things that appear to be quote unquote flawless. Like, I don't want people to see that I don't have it quite together. I don't want people to see that I made mistakes. I don't want anybody to know that whatever, I had that bad investment, or I got this divorce, or I was molested, or I used to have this addiction, or whatever that stuff is. But the moment that you stop judging it, the moment you stop judging it, the moment that, in my spiritual tradition, we called it lay it at the altar. There's a divine alchemy. We know from physics that matter is neither created nor destroyed. It only changes form. We're not going to get more stuff here. It just keeps changing form. So if you have, like I have a gold ring, okay? This gold wasn't always in this shape. It was something else. And it'll be something else. And then it's something else. Okay? The wood looks like this, and then it looks like this, and then it looks like that. Everything is shifting, and so it is with us. God's not only this big recycling bin, it's the transformer, the alchemy that melts it all down and then reshapes it into something that is beautiful and something that is of value. Your unique gift to the world, that which is yours uniquely to give, is going to involve everything. Everything. And the big shift in my consciousness that I've gotten through the years growing up very fundamentalist, evangelical, charismatic, Pentecostal Christian. It's a jumble pack. That what we were taught was that God uses us in spite of ourselves. That's what we were taught. That God uses us in spite of all these things about us. What I've come to understand in my metaphysical understanding, it isn't that God uses us in spite of it. God uses us because of it. I want you to catch that. Because of it. Those things that you think are so wrong or so bad, they are the ticket to your freedom. They are the ticket to who you are. Let's just say you've gone through recovery. We may feel like, well, I don't want anybody to know that I had a drug problem. I don't want anybody to know that I had an alcohol problem because I don't want them to judge me, and I don't want them to think less of me. And I remember in those earlier days in that spiritual tradition, that's what I used to think, that somehow or another people wanted their leaders to be flawless or somehow infallible. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. People want people who are real. They want people who are genuine. They want people who are authentic. They want people who they can trust. They want people who have a testimony. Every test is a testimony. Every trial, every tribulation is a triumph in the making. Okay? The best gift that we can give to the world is to show people life. Is to show them there's life after all these things, that you can recover, you can heal, you can transform, you are never down and out, that you can't even mess up your life, that no matter what it is that you do, I am a witness. I am telling you what I know. I do a lot of prison work, I've been going inside for 15 years. And through my years, there were two gentlemen who were both lifers that I was so impressed with the work that I'd been doing with them in prison, I deemed them practitioners of higher consciousness. And I am pleased to say that not only are they both out and free now, but just last June, just a few weeks ago, they were both at Inner Light to participate in the practitioner graduation and the initiation ceremony. One did 20 years, the other did 28. And I did my whole sermon on what they taught me. How they taught me patience. How they taught me forgiveness. How they taught me what real unconditional love was. And all these different things. Okay? And they're better people. They're better people because of their experiences. And if we're willing to get out of shame, if we're willing to get out of judgment, if we're willing to just say, you know what? This has been my journey. This is it. This is it. And have the courage and the fortitude to come out of the closet, to stop hiding it, then I guarantee you that there are strengths that you learned. There are ways of seeing that you couldn't have gotten that strong without it. The trials and the tribulations, they give us spiritual muscle, so to speak. So we can flex. Life is like a big gymnasium. You got to have some weight resistance going on there to build up some muscle, yes? This best that you are to give to the world is not just the shiny stuff that's flawless, but it's all of you. It's your authenticity, where you can stand in that place that says, yes, I am a spiritual being growing through human experiences, and I am here to offer it all. I am here to offer my perception, everything that I have gone through, with the understanding that I am more than this. That I am more than this. It does not define me, and yet it is the gift that I have to give you. It was mentioned in my bio that I'm a professional diversity trainer, which I am, and I have been for many years. And it came out of a lot of struggle. You know, I'm at the tail end of the baby boom. I was born in the mid-50s in Los Angeles. Coming of age of all of the drama. You know, the Watts riots, the feminist movement, the LGBT movement. I mean, it's like the whole nine yards. And I'm better. I'm more compassionate. I understand the oneness. I get the connection, but I'm not sure I would have ever gone that deep if I hadn't had some stuff to go through. So that which you are to give to the world involves all of you. I'm going to share a couple of excerpts from one of the letters in The Sacred Yes, which is volume 1 of my Letters from the Infinite series. And I'm just going to jump around here from an earlier part to more in the end. It says, your authenticity is the place where you hear my voice, feel my presence, move in my spirit. It is the place where you experience your genuineness. It says, your authenticity is a fundamental part of the you that I desire, cherish, nurture, and protect. Will you do the same for yourself? Will you cherish, nurture, and protect your authenticity so that you can give it back to me to be used in a healthy way in our relationship, in our partnership? I want you to bring your authenticity to the table, not to lose it forever. You cannot do this if you don't know that it exists. I don't want you to come to me empty-handed as you fear. I just want you to come not holding on to a lot of outer material stuff. You think that your spiritual worth is caught up in your material worth. You hold on to your stuff so that you can be somebody. You are somebody just because I created you. Who are you when you are not being defined by your relationships, your careers, your finances, your body, your actions, and the like? Just who are you? If you will contemplate this question daily, then you will have the benefit of discovering your authentic self without so much trauma and drama. Some of you, however, will not contemplate this question unless you are literally without the societal crutches that you use to define yourself. But even if you do lose a few things in the outer realm, the loss is not the focal point. It's the discovery of yourself underneath that is important. Take a breath. Let us pray. Moving into that secret place of the Most High, the inner chamber. That place where we reveal all, where we stand naked and unashamed. It is from this place of no judgment, from this place of no restriction, from this place of recognizing ourselves as one with everybody and everything that we pray. And we say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the honor and the privilege of being alive. Thank you for this thing called life and all of its eventualities. Thank you for the opportunity to care and to serve and to show up. Thank you for all of the healing, for all of the revealing, for all of the transforming. Thank you for our greater yet to be. As we stand upon the precipice of the dawning of a new day in our lives. Oh, we say thank you. Thank you for that perfect pattern within that is never disturbed. It knows not of the illness. It knows not of the hurt. It knows not of dysfunction or disorder. That perfect pattern that's always there, and we dare to look through the appearances and call it forth. We have the courage to stand before the tempest and say, hush, to rebuke the wind and the rain and to say, peace, be still, knowing the peace is in the eye of the storm. We have the courage to stand before that body temple that appears to be riddled with illness and disease and to call forth the health that we know is underlying. We will not be fooled by the appearances. Where's the health coming from? It's coming from there. We can't buy it. Can't borrow it. Nobody can give it to us. The health is right inside of that same body that appears to be ill. We will not be fooled. We call forth the clarity that's there even in the midst of the confusion. We call forth the love that's underneath the hardened husks of our hearts. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us, as the psalmist says. And we give thanks that this only power that is coming through his all needs met. Financial abundance, divine order, right action, divine right companionship, divine right residence, divine right transportation, ideas coming forth, doors opening before we have even knocked. We give thanks for Reverend Edward Villon and this this Santa Rosa spiritual community. And yeah, we can bless Santa Cruz because there's really only one of us here. And all the great and mighty work that's being done. May we have the courage to bring all of the so-called flaws and foibles and all of that to the table. And let the alchemy of the divine turn it into something that's a blessing to all. I know that my word is not creating any of this. It's just dusting off our awareness to see what already is. It was done before he spoke it. We're just here standing in agreement to be a greater portal through which it can express. It is good, it is done, it is finished. We get out of the way, into alignment, and allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.